Girls and the others. We have here this guy, Mr. John Taylor, uh, in the rhythm of pleasure, love and death, and Duran Duran. Um, and that's interesting because I'm formerly I'm a metal guy, but even in the 80s, 82, 83, I love some of Duran Duran songs, but when it comes to see the music videos, I just get disgusted because I just said, "The fuck are those guys with those hairs and makeups and clothing, bizarre clothing, all this shit." But music was great, and there's an interesting story about a punk rock band in Brazil. Just a short story. Uh, the bass player of the band loved Duran Duran, uh, and he couldn't say to other uh, band members that he liked it because he has a punk rock, no tough image and all this shit. Uh, but he was so fed up that say, "Man, I have to tell you something. I fucking love it, Duran Duran." And then the guitar player say, "Oh man, it's so good you say that because I love them too." And the drummer say, "Oh man, the beats are amazing." So the three of them, they love Duran Duran, So, but when you are young and it's, for example, you are listening to Slayer, how can you say you like Duran Duran? Anyways, Taylor talks about the development of the band. The first time when he met Nick Rhodes, the keyboard player. Another thing that I thought, and some people might be confused, because you have John Taylor, Roger Taylor, and you have Andy Taylor, but they are not relatives. They don't have connection. They are different Taylor's family. One made suit and tie, and other made another thing. Uh, and with Nick Rhodes and Simon Le Bon, I got Simon. It's the classic formation of the band, when they get famous and all this thing. It's really great too because you can see that Duran Duran has a great influence for bands like Chick, Kool and the Gang, that funky, poppy funky style. It's great too. He has a great sense of humor too. When I was younger, I thought Duran Duran was an American band, but I noticed something different on that. And they are from England, This is why they have this different approach, I guess. There's also interesting. He talks about the story of for some music videos they did in Sri Lanka, and it's nice because they use the doing of a video as an excuse to visit a beautiful place like Sri Lanka, and make some sightseeing and all this thing. You can have like those videos. Shit, how's the song? Save a Prayer. And there's other songs too. They did there, that was a smart idea. Taylor also talked that they live a situation like a hard day's night situation. Like they feeling like this situation in life that you feel like you are in a movie, But that's the real life, So when the band started to disband, they started to disband because they became too. They want to have a break. Then they have two different projects. It was Arcadia and Power Station. And then they decided that when they finished those projects, they would come back together as Duran Duran. But when they got back together, they just have Simon Le Bon, John Taylor, and Nick Rhodes. And they start to become a bit more electronic, They got some new members in the band. One of the most common is wearing Cucurulo, is the guitar player. For that time, they had songs like "Ordinary World," not great music too. Even to the 2000s, they tried to do a comeback with the classic formation, but the guitar player Andy Taylor left in a while, The drummer keeps on the band. The band keeps on working. You know, they have a new record called Paper Gods. It's good. It's a good record. It has a vintage flavor on it. You know, it's of course John Taylor talks about drug addiction too, because it's in the middle of rock history anyway. It's a great one. I recommend, even if you don't like Duran Duran a lot, because you can check how the band started, develop. You know, so this is the guy, Mr. Taylor and Duran Duran.